Tino's production official um, science and theory section. So what we're gonna be talking about error and accidents. So a lot of people we're looking at the news, looking at everything. We wonder why do bad things happen to us? Why is everything happening? So I don't have an answer what's happening. I'm just pointing out the problems of anything that happens in the world. Some of you might contradict my point, some of you might not. But if you listen careful and you pay a closer look, you will find out that I might be right or might be wrong. So and you're here because you want to learn something new, science, new theory. So this is the theory I made myself. So here we go. I'm gonna give you an example. So it's called the theory idea. So in June 28, 2016, I created this paper. This everything was created, and what I wrote was the accident world does not really exist, meaning that accidents can be extremely preventable. I'm not saying all of them are preventable. Probably 95% of accidents can be prevented, and I will give you why an explanation. Uh, throughout time, people don't understand why accidents happens in the world. Many people blame God for accidents that happen every day, and I'm gonna give you 5 situations where people will tell me this was all made up accidents. So here we go. Let's open up my notebook. So I'm gonna give you 5 examples right now, which is you came to work too too late because it was a thunderstorm the night before and the lights went out and your alarm went off, meaning that it was an accident that the electricity went off. You never know whether it's gonna go off or not. You accidentally lost your credit card at the local store because you were rushing to get home. That's another accident. You fell from the skateboard even though you've done it for 5 years. Another accident. You fly a plane that goes down. That's another example. So all these examples are just pointing out where if you how can you prevent these accidents and how are we gonna go. So have these any of these events ever happened to you? Forget the 10 most wanted viral videos. Come join us for an adventure right now. So we will get into that how we're gonna do this. So the percentage of an accident, like I said, is 95% to 99%. Can be avoided by simply adding an E factor. E factor is the it's like it means like a error factor. So let me give you an equation. X equals E times F times A, meaning X is the result equals E equals the error, F means the factor, and A means the A point, the starting point of the line. So if you're confusing, go to my Tolentino official Facebook page. If you look in the link below, and you will find it. So let's take a look at the first one. You came to work late because there was a thunderstorm and the lights went out and the alarm went off. So point A, you're in the point A where you have to work the next day and there's plenty of time to evaluate the situation. Is it gonna rain? How's the weather? What kind of alarm system I have? What time is it really important for me to wake up the next day at that certain hours? F factor, it means the factor that your your alarm is gonna wake you up in few hours, and the house is run by electricity, and you have an alarm that runs by electricity. Some of us have, some will have battery power. And now let's look at the other. X is the result of being late. So being late is a result of all this. E factor is the most important factor because the E factor you can change, meaning the factor you can change it. That's the only thing you can really change about this whole situation, that middle part. So let's see, because it can literally change the whole pattern. Now let's change the X factor by adding a battery power alarm, a second battery power alarm, and just in case the first one, you can use your phone as a third backup. So now you have changed that pattern. So now the next day or any other day, you're not gonna wake up late because of the alarm. And now, if you decide to take a 5 minute nap and that's no longer an accident, that's your just to blame on. So you can't really blame something. Now let's look at situation number 2. You accidentally lost your credit card at the local store. You were rushing to get home. You have to evaluate the situation first. Money is the most important thing you need in your wallet. So you always have to keep down what's in your wallet. Always inspect your your credit cards after you leave the store. Well, that's something we never tend to do, but we all lost our credit card. We all lost things at the store. So the F factor is when you're rushing to get home with your and you lost your and you have your credit card, your wallet. Everything's fine. The X factor, the X is the result of the lost credit card, and that's the key factor. If you, like I say, if you can change the X, the error, you can change the whole situation. I mean, X is the result of the lost credit card. Now the E factor, I meant to say the E factor first. The E factor is when we can change the outcome now. So uh, now if you're one of them people that loses their stuff all the time, credit card, whatever, you gotta keep in mind when you walk out anywhere where your stuff is at. Gotta keep an eye, and always before you walk out that door, you have to open your wallet, check everything's right, and then if you do that all the time, when you walk out the store and see if you got something, you forgot anything, this accident will never happen. So now let's look at situation number 3 before we get too boring. You fly a plane and the plane goes down, meaning that the A point is when you have to fly somewhere and you have time to evaluate where you're flying, what kind of plane you're flying, and what are the chances of your plane going down. The F factor is when you take a flight on an airplane that's in a working order. Meaning the factor is that when you start getting to that plane, when it really works. The X factor, which is the consequence of the result of all these actions, is the plane goes down or gets into a malfunction. The E factor is the most important factor you have to learn, and this is because you have to be smart in pretty much a lot of situations before in order for you not to get into an accident. So let's say the E factor is very important because it's you have to check the plane condition, the weather condition, and your pilot ability to dictate the airplane, your wildlife, and pretty much have knowledge of what the plane really is going on, what really is going on. So thank you for watching Tom Jones Production Error in Theory, and next time we will have another theory, which will be I'm thinking about what's happening with events every day, that what can we do about it. So I have a theory about you can change mean people. You can't change the weather, but you can change people, meaning that some people are really have live a bad life, and they're just looking for a good reason to live, and they don't find that they'll still be bad. So what you can do to make those people happy. And like I said, has everybody has been to negative events in your life. We all go through that. It's not just few of us. So I will explain on my next theory. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time on next week.